tell you, Jim, it's not easy. One of the things this year that we're really talking about is about, and when I came up with this saying, just be you, I thought about you. Because Jimmy was never afraid to be who he was. And that's a credit to his parents, who raised him right, raised him with good faith, with morals, with good character. But you were always who you were. And you weren't ever trying to be something else. Yep. And I think if you could just tell there's a young Jimmy out there somewhere to tell them how important that is about being yourself and everything.
Well, I was raised, like my parents are older, so I was raised basically like on Rocky and all the old 70s and 80s music. And in high school, I didn't really fit in too well. And like I love the groups like Chicago and Journey and all that. And I wasn't ever into the rap or any of that. So I kind of just was always to myself. But I didn't care. I was always myself. The one story that Coach McKenna used to, you want to tell that? It always.
You could tell it. See how well you do.
So it was a kid. He was kind of a nerdy kid. He was a freshman. Was it freshman? And
he was a freshman, yes.
And he dropped all of his books, and a bunch of the football players were kind of laughing at him, except the one quarterback. Right? It was the quarterback went down and helped him pick up all of his books, and he was kind of sort of friends with him, but not like overly. He helped him walk home a little bit. So 3 years later, the kid becomes the
valedictorian of the class. So the freshman, when he's going to graduate, becomes the valedictorian of the class.
And so he gives the speech, and he stops his speech and points to the quarterback in the audience, and he says, "That kid, he saved my life. 3 years ago, I was going to go home to commit suicide, but because that kid was so kind to me, it changed everything." So ever since that story, I didn't care about, if they're a nerd. I always tried to be nice to people. And in college, I ended up becoming friends with two blind guys. I would walk them to class, and I just always thought about that story and, my Catholic faith, to just be kind to people no matter how different they were. I didn't care if I was on the football team or what, So.
And I've told that story over and over and over because it means a lot. Because you don't know how one little act of kindness, one little bit of act of kindness could change somebody's life. And you know what? What's wrong with being nice to each other? What's wrong with, and I think that's what's wrong with this world. We've got our heads down. We've got our buried in our thoughts. Look up. Make contact. Be nice to each other. You walk into a cafeteria as a student and you see a guy over there sitting by himself. Guess what? Go over and sit with him. Say, "Hey, how you doing, buddy? Hey, how you doing today?" Make him feel good. Because you don't know. You don't know that little bit of kindness could change the whole world. And I believe that. And there's nothing wrong with being nice to each other. And I tell you what, think about it. How good do you feel when people are nice to you? And it's just a great feeling.